more underdogs.
Yeah.
This season is going to be more packed than ever. I can't wait.
But I do want to reminisce a little bit. You know, I was talking about a crazy Season 8, and I think one of the crowning things, just an achievement for the Rocket League scene, is NRG and Garrett G lifting that trophy. So let's talk back to that, because I cried. I straight up cried. It was a beautiful moment, finally seeing that man. He tweeted out a long time ago, "I'm not stopping until I lift that trophy," and Garrett G did it.
And this moment, oh my.
It is the perfect way to end 2019. All year long, energy versus vitality, and we never got it when it mattered the most, into the grand finals, into the very last match. And then it goes to Game 7 overtime. It couldn't have got any better than energy, of course, finally hoist that trophy. But it's not about that they just won it and that they've been there every single time. They've always been one of the favorites to win it. That's why we wanted them to win so bad, because so many times just always disappointment for Garrett G, but finally he lifts that trophy. And again, we all got emotional. We all wanted to see them win it.
It's so scary. You think back to that moment. Now that it's done and now that it's over, NRG has won. You know, it's an amazing story, but being in that moment, in that overtime, when there's overtime, and it's NRG again, Garrett G again, and Justin in this situation where they are one goal away from everything. Imagine if it goes the other way. Imagine if that happened.
I mean,
but they won. It's just going to go down in the history books as one of the greatest wins that we'll ever experience.
That final clip of them just popping off and winning, I think I watched that maybe like 40 times.
Oh, I've watched it.
I could not stop watching it because you can see the genuine emotion from Garrett G. He's been there since season 1.
Well, you played with him,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like emotionally, you must have been wrapped up in that.
It was crazy because it was like seeing the end of the story, and then now it's almost like the new chapter.
They will be unleashed this season.
A brand new chapter has started for NRG. It's even scarier now than ever, and it's just so satisfying seeing them win.
I think everybody can, and every team too, can legitimately say that they were just stoked and happy to see it. But again, big question, are they going to do it again? We're going to find out this season. Before that, we got to talk about, though, the new format that we're coming into the season. Gibbs, I'm going to let you take this one. We're moving from 8 teams to 10 teams.
Yes.
There's a lot more teams on the field now.
So we have 8 weeks of league play, which means we have 45 matches. We used to have 28 matches when it was 8 teams, so a ton more to play for. But then the regional championship, basically the same. The top 6 go, the top 2, they auto-qualify for Worlds. But now it's a little bit harder to make that top 6, of course, because there's more teams involved. When we get down to the bottom, that's where it gets hairy. We have 8th and 9th, they go to the promotion tournament. But if you come in dead last, auto-relegated for the rival series.
Yikes.
So every single match, we always say every single match matters. That normally means to make it to the regional championship. But now, when you're in the basement, you want to be back for one more season, or at least play in that promotion tournament. You won't even get the opportunity for a last place finish. So huge games all across the board.
Yeah, the pressure just like that adds so much more to it. And let's talk about the pressure those 2 new teams might be feeling coming into this. Sonics and Flight. You know, these guys got thrown into there. They didn't have to beat any teams to get into Season 9 league play for North America. They're here. So, you know, they don't have that same level of like, you know, where do we match up right now? Obviously, scrims can give that, but you know, that extra. Do you think they're feeling this pressure?
Oh, definitely.
Right now, especially knowing that last.
It's the lower tier teams that are really feeling it the most because they are trying to just prove themselves and maintain a spot in league play. So it's going to be really difficult for them to actually find, you know, that proper play style, everything to get them kind of meshing in with league play because they don't even have experience going up against a team and beating out a team like they would in a promotional tournament.
But you look at some of the guys on those teams that made it in, like the Sonics, you got Dapper and Sathu over there. These aren't people who don't have RLCS experience. These guys have been here before. They've experienced relegation. They've experienced getting kicked out of the RLCS and having to work their way back. So I think, for me, a lot of it, for at least the Sonics, they're not going to experience that as much. And then even for Flight, they've got Seabass and Memory. Those guys are also RLCS veterans. So this is going to be a very interesting season. Likely going to come down to the wire on who finishes 10th, but now it's going to be even more exciting than ever because of that auto relegation.
Well, the season's going to be exciting, but the off season was also exciting. We had a lot of roster changes, 4 total in North America. Some expected, some not expected. Maybe even the players not knowing where they were going to go. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get you guys pulled some whiteboards. I love using these.
Let's do it.
Making us work.
I'm staying honest. My opinion will not be judged here. We're going to grade these roster changes. So we're going to take it, you know, the person leaving and the person filling those shoes as well. What you guys think about that? So let's just get right to it. We're going to start off with Mist to Ghost. Of course, he's replacing Memory. I wonder how you guys feel about this. We know Mist was looking around. He's been a great rock for Pittsburgh Knights in Season 8, defining the landscape of what the meta is now in just Rocket League, professional Rocket League. how's Mist going to fare on this new team? Is he going to, be that right spot, and it was Memory the right person to take out? Turtle, you know what? I think everyone's ready. Look at you got to flip them around. We'll just do them all at once. Go. Yeah, let's just see what we got here.
All right.
So we got an A, B+, and an A. So this seems like a pretty good. I'm going to make you talk. Why the B+, since you're the odd one out?
Because I do feel like Mist. So he was on a team that I felt like was a full team atmosphere where he was probably looking better than Memory because of his teammates, possibly. We're not sure exactly where they fit. So I think it's a slight upgrade over Memory, but I'm not sold on, is he a guy to propel Ghost to a World Cup?
Well, the thing that makes it an A for me is the fact that they pulled a player off a World Championship team to come over to Ghost to make that extra difference. So that, to me, is where it bumped up to an A. I think it was just a really good pickup for a team that couldn't have really hoped for better.
Okay.
So it's really controversial, too, because Mist, he was trying to try out for other teams, and that's why Pittsburgh Knights dropped him. I would assume Ghost was not his first pick, though, for those tryouts. I think he would have rather stayed with Pittsburgh Knights, but we'll see how it plays out.
He just seems like such an obvious upgrade over Memory. I mean, I feel like they kind of filled the same roles of being that third man, trying to be the defensive guy who's going to hold things down against, maybe an aggressive player who's trying to take boosts. And Mist, I mean, every single time I see this man go for shots, anything, he always nails them. He's so consistent, and I think it was just a complete upgrade over Memory.
All right, we got some more to get to. Obviously, you guys.
How do I erase this?
Yeah, we forgot to bring tissues.
We didn't plan ahead. I blame Gibbs.
Wait, me?
Gonna have to use my hand on this? Oh my goodness.
Anyways, we're going to talk about Pittsburgh Knights. You guys just mentioned a Mist leaving. That obviously leaves a hole here. Yeah. So AJ moved over there from Rogue with Mist moving out. So how do you guys feel about this one now with AJ? AJ was questionable on Rogue. Is this the right person? Because I feel like the play styles are completely different between Mist and AJ.
No cheating. Stop looking at our paper.
Oh, whoa.
Just wait.
All right. And flip. See, okay, yeah. I guess that falls in line with what I just mentioned there.
Where's the minus?
What is the minus there? What do you mean?
You put a minus at the top.
Where's it supposed to go?
It's supposed to go right in the middle.
What is that?
He's not a teacher. He's not.
We need a lightning round. We need a lightning round.
Explain yourself.
Okay. AJ, I think I call him the silent assassin. I think he's nuts. He might have had a rough season, but Rogue itself was horrible. I just think they look so off. AJ, he has the talent and the mechanical ability to really excel on that if they find a play style.
Okay. We'll leave it at that. I agree with those ones there. So we'll move on to the next one.
Thank you, Luke.
Now, obviously, coming off Ghost, Memory and replacing Aeon on Flight. This is an interesting one. A lot of people were kind of questioning why Aeon was removed from the roster, but Memory is a very solid player, so I feel like those shoes can be filled in Aeon's place here. And flip them around. This time you're going with a C.
A C?
Hey, Turtle, you are in the hot seat right now.
I do not think you should have taken off Aeon from the team. I think
Okay, well, that doesn't matter. So you have to put that aside.
No, I can't. I can't put that aside because all the team synergy going into RLCS. I think it's the first time we've ever seen a team not start with their starting roster that they made through the rival series. I think it's going to ruin everything.
And also, Turtle, I just want to let you know, this is where the sign goes, not here.
All right, guys. One more. We got to move on, but just give me your numbers quick. Sure. This is the one everyone's been waiting for. First killer to Rogue. This first killer is a player that's been in the scene for so long.
I'll say it's a positive because Rogue needed to make a move. So
I'm going B. I'm feeling B.
Okay, some people not as confident in it. Okay, we're going to move on now, though, and take the opinions away from you guys. You're going to be criticized a lot about these, probably. So let's put the pros in the hot seat now. Gibbs, usually do power rankings.
Yes, you always make me guess.
Yeah.
So I decided to go to the pros, and I polled the pros and let them guess the power rankings, because it's been an off-season where we haven't seen a lot of results. So I asked the pros to rank the teams 1 through 9, so to not include themselves. And so I asked the 3 starters plus the coach. And then I averaged down a full team's picks to 1 pick. So we have 10 picks, and then I averaged them all together. Okay. And we got a power rankings based on scrim results and all that. So probably pretty accurate. And we'll see if they can back it up when it comes to league play. So let's
So this is our best look into basically how things have been going off screen.
And honestly, this might be the power rankings I trust most because Gibbs didn't do it.
How much can you value it, though? Because it's really before the league play starts. I feel like some teams, they really excel once they get that first weekend experience.
But the first team that really you have to look at, G2, 3rd place, and that's after a last place finish in league play.
Yeah, people are.
Looks like G2 is looking good in scrims, and we can see that because we saw them in Season 7. They almost won a World Championship. They look like they're back on form, at least according to the pros.
And then even for the Knights, we talked about the roster move with AJ. We didn't like it as much, but the people still putting them in top 4. But the question is, will AJ's play style really come in and help them? But even E United down there at 7th, they were a world championship team.
That's crazy.
They were a world championship team, and they're 7th. So no respect from the pros. And honestly, I feel like we haven't given them a lot of respect either, because you just look at the stats in some of the games. They have struggled at times, but they proved it at Worlds. They played well at Worlds. They showed us that they can hang.
And then we talk about those rival series teams. Well, they're the two at the bottom, so it looks like the RLCS teams are not giving them.
Not confident yet.
Undervaluing them, yeah.
I mean, they don't have as much experience playing against them.
That's what I'm talking about. Right? As a player and as a team will just progress through the league play, I think that that's really going to be in the middle of the season where they can determine if they're actually going to start and excel to the top. Like Space Station, we didn't expect them to be number 2
Well, that's what I'm saying. Are you guys not questioning the Space Station number?
So because there has been some changes, I'm fine with it for now, just because of how good Typical was, how good Arsenal can be. But the question for me is, there were games at the World Championship where Arsenal was invisible. He was MIA, struggling to get boosts, completely shut out of the game. But if they can play the way they have, they are up there at number 2. But I do have my questions.
Well, I know Chiefs is standing by to talk more about SSG, so let's get to your Get It moment presented by CDW.
Thank you very much, Leaf. It is the start of RLCS Season 9, and that means that I get to sit up here and talk about one team that I think is going to absolutely dominate this season, and that means it's these guys, Space Station Gaming. They popped off at the World Championships in Spain, and I look for that dominance to continue here in the North American season. So let's go ahead and get into some clips. These are all from Spain, and we'll see how they do, and a lot of it is going to come down to AXB. So let's go ahead and get the ball rolling. It all starts with how I feel AXB's defense has improved during the offseason. He's been much better at getting strong clears into great positions, like that counterattack opportunity for Arsenal, and more importantly, the finishing has improved. And that's exactly why they moved AXB into that frontman role, because they weren't confident in his ability to finish the ball, and they let Typical move into that role last season. And the best part is he is still capable. The North American MVP is going to continue to make teams look absolutely silly on the defensive side of things, while Arsenal is going to just get the ball into some dangerous scoring positions because he has such phenomenal ball control and can always get the ball through defenders and into scoreable positions for players like Typical. So by AXB improving his defense and his shot finishing capability, you're going to see Space Station Gaming turn into this true three-headed monster. You're going to have Arsenal and Typical being unleashed on the offensive side. You can trust AXB in the backfield and to come in and finish a shot as needed. And basically, Space Station Gaming is going to easily end up anywhere in the top 4. So today they play against Ghost. It's going to be the match of the day, and I hope that it continues to go well for them. And this has been your Get It moment presented by CDW. So what do you guys at the desk think is going to happen against Ghost?
And this is why we had Space Station at number 2, or a lot of people have them at number 2. They used to be a running joke, the 95% team, but they couldn't finish shots. Number 1 shooting at the World Championship, number 2 shooting in all of North America. When they shoot well, they are a deadly team.
Yeah, and at the World Championship, AXB, he impressed me so much. You know, I have at times questioned AXB and his ability on that team compared to his teammates Arsenal and Typical. But at the World Championship, he answered all the questions for me. Definitely. I thought he played so well and was such a vital part to their success in the World Championship. So I expect them to do big things if they can keep that going.
Well, let's break down the match then. We're talking about Space Station. We'll keep it in there. Our match of the day, of course, is Ghost versus Space Station Gaming. How is this going to go? I mean, like, again, Space Station's the only team in this matchup out of 2 teams that is coming in with the same roster, right? You know, with Ghost pulling missed on here and losing memory, there's some adjustments have to be made. They've had time in the offseason. Is it enough time to pull up against Space Station Gaming that's now got that, LAN experience? They have so much coming into this.
I mean, I think it's possible. For me, for Ghost, it's all about damage control and how you deal with Arsenal going in for those demos and getting that boost, trying to disrupt everything. And it's so much, it's so much harder to annoy and disrupt Mist, who's so solid and sturdy on defense. And even whenever you lower his opportunities, Mist will find a way to find the back of the net, even if he only has 2 or 3 shots a game.
And so far, Ghost has answered those questions back on Wednesday for the Astro tournament, where every RLCS team was in it. Well, they won the entire thing. So they answered the questions at least in a minor tournament. But now with the RLCS here, more nerves on the line. We'll see if they can back it up. But again, the pros have him at 5th. Space Station #2. So the pros think Space Station will take.
But I mean, you just have to give them that respect, right? Yeah. And Ghost is coming in with a roster change, so automatically people don't rank that as high, I would say. But for me, it comes down to, can Mist help Ghost with their boost control and boost management problem? You look at some games last season, they just struggled to maintain that control, and Arsenal's a guy who's going to just destroy you if you give them that space. So I think for Ghost to play well in this matchup, they really need to make sure Mist in the backfield is keeping Arsenal at bay, getting those boosts, and helping keep his team upfield.
Well, we can speculate all we want, but I got someone on the line that actually is an expert on the matter, so why don't we give a listen? He was the foundation, the rock of Pittsburgh Knights, but now he's moved on over to Ghost. Joining me on the line, it's Mist. How you doing, man? You ready for the new season?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
I just want to talk about that journey. You know, you've moved over to Ghost now. That's your team. That's who you'll be fighting for in season 9. Can you just talk to me about the journey of moving around? You know, I heard it was a bit of a journey trying to figure out where you'd end up landing. Can you just walk us through that?
Yeah, first I got approached by a team like right after like the Worlds, and my team wasn't like the most accepting of it, I guess. So that kind of left me in a weird place already. And Ghost had a spot open, but they were like going between me and First Killer, so I was just kind of like out in like no man's land, kind of just like hoping to land on a team. But I guess it worked out.
Hey, it's a solid team to land on. Can you just talk to me about the driving force for yourself then? You know, what was motivating you to find something? Obviously, there's more you wanted to add to your Rocket League game. What was it that made you want to look around and find a new team to work with?
I really felt like I was just like the main third man on PK, and I really want to like get on offense more and show what I can do like on both sides, I guess.
So now, what are the biggest things, you know, coming into the season? You know, you guys playing extremely well. You've got a good track record yourself. Now, what are the biggest things you've learned that you're looking to carry over and get better at coming into season 9?
Definitely just like the speed of doing things. Like last season, like he's gonna be like really fast at like everything in RLCS. So that's one thing I carried over.
Now, on that, you guys pushed the meta. Like, you guys were making teams like G2 and Cloud9 shaking their boots, trying to catch up and adjust to how you guys are playing. Do you think that meta is going to stay the same in Season 9? Or have teams adjusted, and is it changing yet again?
I think it's going to stay the same for a little bit. People are going to try it out and see how it works. But C9 and G2 definitely have to like change their playstyle a little bit.
And for you on Ghost, what kind of position have you fallen into, and what can we expect from your gameplay later today?
Obviously, I'm still like third man, like centered, but I still play like a lot more offense on Ghost, so that helps a lot.
And we were talking before earlier. We think this match against SSG is going to be good. You know, what are you most excited about this match? You think it's going to be super